Today is Friday, the Friday after Ash Wednesday. Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast, Jesus asserts in today's gospel. He makes the same claim when he's carrying his cross and meets the daughters of Zion who weep for him. Do not weep for me, he says, but weep for yourselves and for your children. If they do this when the wood is green, what will happen when it is dry? Hard times for certain, when human beings choose dark deeds. Hard times then, and so much worse now, just as Jesus predicted. And we can expect them to get even worse until the world repents. On Ash Wednesday, we were signed with ashes to mark our humanity. Humanity, in this case, means two things. First, we were created by God in love, a little lower than the angels and crowned with glory and honor, per Psalm 8. And second, we are corporeal, and so subject to aging, sickness, violence, injustice, and death. This corporality does not make sin our predominant characteristic. Sin is a human temptation, not a human condition. The temptation is to live for one's own desires, hopes and dreams, one's attitudes and opinions, and one's sense of truth, while denying God any role or any reality. This mode of living risks ignoring, limiting, or even overriding other people's desires, hopes and dreams, and even their freedom. The result is invariably damaging and destructive. We experience this destructive power in families, friendships, workplaces, and parishes. Last Saturday, the Wall Street Journal published an article entitled, "Families Try to Make Up After Fights Over Vaccines." And this article describes the challenge well. Let's not underestimate how vast this challenge is. To scale the heights of other people's attitudes and sense of truth, to find some common ground is daunting indeed. But perhaps that is your or my Lenten project in the spirit of the first reading. Such a project is certainly more productive than giving something up that one enjoys, which I find guilt-producing rather than guilt-effacing. In our first reading, Isaiah poses us the challenge. When you fast, Isaiah says, your fast ends in quarreling and fighting. Is this the manner of fast I desire? That a man bow his head and lie in sackcloth and ashes? Do you call this a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? This rather is the fasting that I wish, releasing those bound unjustly, untying the thongs of the yoke, setting free the oppressed by breaking every yoke, sharing your bread with the hungry, sheltering the oppressed and homeless, clothing the naked, and not turning your back on your own. Restoring our own well-being, our relationships, and our work life after 2 long years of pandemic is quite enough challenge for one Lenten season. If we pray, we undertake this challenge with the Spirit of God's love poured into our hearts, giving us courage, strength, and hope. Isaiah says in the concluding statement in our reading, "Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your wound shall quickly be healed." And this is good news indeed.